March or April. So up to, let's say, April, you do not have any revenue. You are in a phase of investing money. You won't have any revenue yet, I assume. I say, what do you think?
Probably I will also do things like that.
Because you have to develop, first of all.
Yes.
So that is probably not possible. And if you don't have a prototype, etc., we have learned in the lessons, you at least have to have a kind of a prototype. Before you go to an investor, you should have something to show him. What we said in the early stage, when we are actually defining a business, we need this period where you invest in your first prototype. Like in a garage, when the Facebook guys or others made the first product, and then you go to the investor and say, okay, I have the concept, and have a look. I have, let's say, the prototype of the first application, the first module. So you cannot go to an investor only with paperwork. You have to show something. And up to this point, you need normally the money either out of your own pocket or the 3F: friends, family, and freaks, or crazy people investing in such early stage. So that means you have probably the need to have this private money, or you go for bootstrapping or seed money. Means you go onto an internet platform and ask for money to build your first platform.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. So that means you have to calculate the first 4 months to build the prototype, and that is money. Of course, you have to calculate to know what you actually need, and of course, you have to live in this period. So that means, of course, you have to calculate all your costs, which are then covered by your personal money or by families' seed money, bootstrapping. So that is the major problem in a business plan. Because that means you have a different logic in getting from whom to actually receive money. Because in the later stage, I think you wrote that you will get money from a bank, etc. Yeah?
Yes.
So that means, as we have learned, at those very early stages in a startup, mostly you don't get any money from banks. That is always seed money, your own money, bootstrapping, and business angels who will probably invest into the first year, or probably even longer, before there is a more professional organization like a venture capitalist going into your company if this is quite successful within the first year. Yeah. So a bank,
First, yeah.
a bank is
First
not.
year is very tough.
Yes. So, and the bank will never go into such a high risk. So that a bank is mostly coming into something like this if you already had a high revenue. So the venture capitalist is having a very successful period with you, and then probably banks are going into this into some other investments. So that means the business plan should have a different setup. So that means to describe your business and your process of this business related on a timeline. The phases are really having a first product, first plan, or first let's say 80% or 60, 70% of your product ready before you talk to investors. And that means you have an investment, but you need something to build, to show what is your concept, why are you better than others, and what are the specialities. Yeah. Okay, that means a serious business plan is for a professional investor starts then in April or May. And before, of course, it is a very reduced amount of money because you have to do a lot of work by your own or by people who help you in this process, because you have to lower and to have really low costs. You should have lower cost or low cost as low as possible. That means just a few people. They don't need to earn money. If you have enough money, no problem. But this is as you said, it's a hard period for every entrepreneur to start this. Because your product approach is, let's say, it is complex because you need a third party. You need teachers, you need people who actually bring the content into your product, and they need to be paid or they invest the work. And then you say, okay, if you build up the prototype with me, then I give you whatever. You give me a seed money or bootstrapping, and I give you an interest on this. So you give me 20,000 euro, or you develop a prototype and you get 40,000 as a loan. You please give me 40,000 and you pay interest, and you say, when business works, then you get 50,000 back. Yeah. So, but you probably cannot afford to pay him. Yeah. That is a big issue in the beginning. Yeah. So, okay, just to have this in mind about money and who and the idea who will invest. Yeah. Okay, let's go very straight. Questions? Okay, so B2B and B2C. Where do you want to start, Ray?
I want to start from B to B because the student, it is easy paying for the university, but it is not easily paying for the product and platform.
Yeah.
So yeah, the first choice is B2B.
Yeah, I think that's a very good idea. Yeah, you should go with the multiplicators. People who organize, or, yeah, at the end they do a lot of sales for you. Yeah, yeah, I would say B2B is perfect, and as you said, probably you get some state money.
There you go.
Yeah, probably you get some money from the government or from the state or from the university to actually.
Yeah, and because as far as I know, in the South China University of Technology, the many professors are doing the research about the VR, and the research project is funded by the government. So we can cooperate with them and do the survey, and it is also a benefit to our products and our platform developing.
Okay. What do you mean with as a weakness? What is the industry chain is still relatively thin? What does this mean?
Mm. It is Joey's Park. The is Joey on a win is
What is this? The industry chain is still relatively thin. What does this mean?
The equipment supplier is fewer equipment supplier, and so and there's less company to do the business with the VR, so there are a small number of big companies.
Is this what you wrote? Are these weaknesses? The investment is not too large. That is a strength. Yeah,
on the one hand, we can
just work on your strengths and weaknesses of this business. Yeah. And what we said before is that when you look about the market volume, you go and say the virtual reality industry market scale is rising up. The question, of course, is always: is your market segment or your kind of product also rising in the forecast up like the overall market. Yeah. Okay, so if you could work into your paper these kind of questions we talked about or input we discussed, that would be great, just to correct your paperwork and add some information what we were talking about. Okay, but overall, it's quite good work with a lot of good input, and to work with this input is, I think, a very good base to actually correct yeah, it's a very good base to work with. Okay.
Thank you.
Welcome. So Chen cannot get in our room. Aisin looks not bad. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. No, it's right. Good work. Thank you very much again. And if you can incorporate some of our ideas and discussion would be great. So I would say let's have a break. Yeah.
Yeah.
And start again in 15 minutes. Yeah. That means,
Which means 11:50.
11:50 my time, CET. Yeah. So 15 minutes. Thank you.